If you have good news and the bad news, AI study says 95% of that is doing absolutely. The good news, I'm a data I read actual. That number is not what people think it. I have spent 10 years reading the boring part nobody posts online, where the money actually went and whether it came back. So today I pulled 3 sources: the Gartner 2026 spending forecast, the MIT study everyone's quoting, and the X report from 2 days ago with a story that genuinely made me laugh out loud. By the end, you will know 3 things: the real size of the AI, why both the hype and the panic are wrong, and the one that move that separates the companies winning with AI from the 95% lighting cash. Start with the number everyone's get wrong. You have seen $665 billion floating around. Ignore it. I could not trace it to a real source. Here is the one I can. Gartner, May 19th. Worldwide AI spending in 2026, $2.59 trillion, up 45% in a single year. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire economy of Italy on one technology in 1 year. But here is the part that matters for the rest of this video. Most of that, over 45%, is not software, it's infrastructure. Chips, servers, data centers, $1.43 trillion just on the plumbing. The actual AI software business by $453 billion is still enormous, is still doubling, and that's the bucket the failure stats is about. Now the headline. Last August, an MIT group called NANDA dropped a report, the GenAI Drive. One line went nuclear. 95% of enterprise AI pilots deliver zero measurable return. 95%. CFOs forwarded to each other in a panic, and it's based on real work. 150 interviews, 350 employees surveyed, 300 public deployment, not nothing. And these receipts kept coming. 2 days ago, Axios ran a piece called AI Sticker Shock. My favorite line, a consultant said one of their clients spent $500 million, $500 million on Claude in a single month because nobody set a usage limit. Employee just kept asking things. Microsoft cancelled most of its AI coding license over cost. Uber's COO said AI costs are getting harder to justify. And here is the kicker from the same report. Over 70% of companies says they get positive ROI, but fewer than 1% see returns above 20%. Most see 1 to 5%. Most software productivity gains nobody can put in a spreadsheet. Okay, hype on one side, doom on other. Here is where being a data analyst actually earns its keep, because both of those numbers are being abused. Start with the scary one. When I read the criticism of that MIT study, here is a lot of 3 problems jump out. 1, it only counted measurable P&L impact. If AI saved your support 10 hours a week but nobody logged it, then the study calls that a failure. That's not a failure, it's a bad measurement. 2, the sample was self-selected. Companies that opt into an AI study skew towards the ones still figuring out. 3, and this is the big one, AI ROI does not show up in months, it shows up in years. Judging a 2024 pilot in 2025 is like judging a tree by the hole you dug. So 95% fails is really 95% can't yet prove it works. Different sentence, but part, and this is the part the hype crowd hates. The $2.6 trillion number is just a misleading the other way. Spending is not a result. The infrastructure boom inflates the number to look like adoption when most of it is a bet on demand that has not arrived. Spend went up 47%, measured return flat. The honest read is in the middle. A small group is genuinely winning, a huge group is spending blind, and almost nobody is measuring well enough to tell which one they are. So what about the 5% who actually win? The report agree on the pattern, and none of it is exotic. First, they buy, they don't build. The MIT data showed buying tools from specialized vendors succeed about 67% of the time. Building it in-house, roughly a third of that. The companies playing hero engineers are the ones failing. Second, they automate the valuable task, not the annoying. Axios nailed this. Most people point AI the chores they personally hate, not the work that actually moves money. AI on a $9 task saves $9. Third, and this is the whole ball game. They decide how they would measure success before they spend $1. A baseline, a target, a date to check. The 95% skipped that step, which is exactly why they can't prove anything now. Notice what's not on this: a better model, a bigger budget. The thing separating winners from losers is not the AI. It's whether someone treated it like a business decision instead of a vibe, which brings it home. If your company is part of that $2.6 trillion, the only question that matters is the one almost nobody can answer. Is your AI spent in the 5% or the 95%? And you can't fix what you won't measure. Run it on your own stack tonight, and if you go through it and realize you genuinely don't know whether your AI spend is paying off, that's literally the work I do. Measuring whether the money came back, details are down below. I do one of these every week, pull the real numbers behind the hype so you don't have to subscribe, and I will see you in the next